Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here. Those of you who are kind of wondering what's going on today, I just made a video. It's meditation for healing and good health. I think it's kind of self-explanatory, so I won't go into it. I won't take time for that on this video, but I did put the link below. So we are going to talk about the COVID pandemic today. So I wanted to go ahead and get that video out there. This is week number 12 of 2020. It is for the 15th, which is Sunday through the 21st. See, I have to have my calendar here because I don't keep track of dates. I'm not very good about that. For those of you who asked, this is closed. The workshop has filled, so sorry, I don't have room for anyone else in that workshop. I'm trying to keep the number not too big there. Just want to tell you, several of you have asked about this book. It is available on Amazon.com. It's a good book to have at what we're going through right now because it has 52 practices, one per week, to help create joy in your life. And if one doesn't work, go on to the next one. So put that aside. Also, later we will, for those of you who are new, welcome. For all my old friends, you're not necessarily old, but for all of you who have been watching my videos from the beginning, some of you, thank you so much for being here. And what we do, this is an Oracle book. It is available on Amazon.com, and each page has a different message, a different wisdom. So we will get that wisdom later in our time together. And I want to go over a couple of different things. The question this week is about the pandemic. What can we do about it? Why is everything in such craziness in the world right now? And how much longer is it going to last? And we're going to look at that. But first, Phillip has a prediction here for us. Thank you, by the way, for writing your questions. You can put them in the comments below. You can send them to me privately over my email address, which is below. I would say call me up, but then I have to write down the question. So it's probably better if you write down the question and send it to me. Or again, put it in the comments below. And I thank you for your questions. It helps me broaden my view as well, because it's not necessarily a question I would ask Phillip. So thank you. I get to learn every week. On the U.S. politics, the energy is still rather erratic and things can change overnight. Keep in mind, the future is created by us every day with our thoughts, our private worlds and collective thoughts, our private thoughts and collective thoughts. We're creating our private worlds and our collective world. And so things can change because it's almost like right now we've got all these different pathways that are happening. But the energy right now is saying Joe Biden will probably take the presidential. He's going to beat Trump. However, this is a big however, and this one actually, I have to say, kind of surprised me. I thought Trump was looking for a new vice president, but what Phillip is telling me is there is a crack, and if the current Republican power, those in power in the Republican Party, if they see Trump losing momentum and they do not think he can beat Biden, and by the way, it's going to get very ugly, but we can't go too much after this kid because look at these kids, and so that's going to take place too. But if by chance the Republicans in power feel that Biden is going to beat Trump, somehow Trump will either disappear or take a very deep back seat, and Pence will be put out front. I don't know that he would be put up for president. There is that possibility, but I think it's just as much of a possibility that Pence would just be out front, even if he's still vice president. So I don't think Trump is going to get to elect a different vice president or to run with a different vice president. So that said, I don't think Biden can beat Pence. A lot of the people who don't like Trump's craziness, they're still okay with the policies. Anyway, so my friends, go do catch that meditation for good health. And I just want to say I'm going to repeat this here because I say it on the meditation. We are body, mind, and spirit. And there's no meditation that will heal you if your mind is still saying no. So that's it. Here's what Phillip said about our current pandemic, that the World Health Organization has declared a pandemic. And this, well, let me just read what Phillip says, and then if there's anything else that has to be added. The pandemic will fade within a month or so, as the human span of attention is not long lasting. So all the excuse me, I cat fur or Daisy's fur. Daisy, by the way, thank you for all your healing energy and prayers. Her hips are doing a little better. It was a hard fall, but she's doing pretty good. And she's of a certain age, so her hips aren't as strong as I'd like them, but the acupuncture is helping her. So thank you. She'll go for her third treatments this coming week. Well, the week that we're in. I make these videos a week at a time. So anyway, thank you. Back to what Phillip is saying. The pandemic will fade within a month or so, as the human span of attention is not long lasting. However, that does not mean the virus will be contained. The usefulness to the planet is to thin overpopulation, as we have previously explained. We did a video a few weeks ago about the pandemic that goes into that a little bit more. This does not negate the human suffering caused by the illness and deaths of so many. I've had too many deaths in my life over this past year. 5 friends, and I just learned recently that my cousin's daughter called to tell me that hospice has been called in on my cousin, and that's very hard. We never like to say goodbye. It's very hard to do. It's part of life, though. So we do not want to negate in any way the suffering, the grieving of those left behind. Phillip does have a good spin on it, though, because he says the threat of death allows humans to appreciate the gifts of life, something that should always be but seldom is. The next couple of weeks in the U.S. will gradually move into more chaos. The peak is 3 to 4 weeks hence, and then there will be a tapering off. Many souls are choosing to leave at this time. Some are best able to be of greater service in spirit world. Others are tired and need to leave their bodies to continue their journey. Others are unable to cope with the strong and erratic energies needed as the change into the new epoch takes place. As we had explained before, the new and the old, the masculine and the feminine, the human and the spirit are fighting one another. To deal with this, live in the moment with the breath. Let the spirit live in greater capacity through the human rather than being caught in the human mind and emotion. This is a time that acts of kindness are being asked for and given. It is a time when each person is faced with the choice of fear or love. A time when everyone has the opportunity to look inward and ask themselves what they are made of, what they believe, what they want their lives to be. It is a time to reflect, to make adjustments, to be quiet and look inward, to ask oneself, what am I made of? As each person learns what they stand for and who they truly are, fear will lessen. As fear lessens, so does illness. Fear weakens the immune system. As the fear is put aside, the disease will lessen. And then I asked Philip if he had anything he wanted to add, and he said, yes, I wish to remind all that it is the depth of the shadow that makes the sunshine seem brighter. It is the depth of the shadow that makes the sunshine seem brighter. And we thank you, Philip, and we thank all of you for listening. And hello, Jennifer. Good to see you. Let's get our soul message this week from Philip. Think left page, right page. If you think, and then we just open to any page like that. And if you're thinking right page, which is what I'm thinking, our intuition is just in sync. If you're thinking left page, this is probably a message for you. And I always read both pages. So on the right page, it says, growth requires stretching beyond that which you know. Growth requires stretching beyond that which you know. Oh, my friends, as you know, I've shared with you, I am 74 years old and I am still stretching. I am still growing, and hopefully I'll have some more years to stretch and grow. If you got the left side, this is a strong message, and both of these fit in with what Philip just told us. That which you fear becomes yours. That which you fear becomes yours. So if you got the right page, growth requires stretching beyond that which you know, you got our message for this week, our soul message. If you heard left page, then this message is also for you. That which you fear becomes yours. Well, my friends, we are so grateful that you come and that you tell others and that you come back every week. And thank you for the comments. As you know, I get behind in them, but I do get eventually I get around to reading them. Send in your questions. I just ask that you keep the questions general so they are of interest to our whole audience here. Do watch the meditation for healing and for good health. And from Daisy, from me, we thank you for accepting our love. Thank you for loving us. You know, on my Facebook page, and if you're on Facebook or Twitter, join me there. I get a little political, more so on Twitter, but a little bit on Facebook. And on the spiritual path page, I have the newsletter there. On Facebook, I don't put anything political in that's all just things to make us feel better and grow. So join me on any of those three, and join me here next week, if not before. And I thank you all for being with us. You hold me together. And on the Facebook page I just put out, I am so grateful for those who ask me to hold them in when they're going through a tough time, because the love we give out, my friends, we get back tenfold. You know that. Whatever we give out, whether it's love or it's our generous donations of time or donations of money, it's always helpful to others, but it comes back to us. We can't give to get, but when we give, we always get. And I am so grateful, especially this week with saying goodbye to my beloved cousin. I am so grateful for your prayers and for your love. Thank you. Your love helps sustain me, and it brings me back here to do this every week. So until we meet again, I will say so long, and get the clicker here to end the stream. And from Daisy, who's sound asleep, and me, and all the rest of us here at our beautiful land, thank you. Bless you all.